Righto then, there's another 15-minute one. Jesus Christ, why do I keep playing such long games? Although that said, Hack did say that I should try and fuck around with the text speed thing, maybe. And then I can do them recorded from the Versus recorder, but even then it still goes far too quickly when you speed it up. And just for some reason incredibly slowly when you haven't sped it up. So that's why I dislike the Versus recorder generally. Anyway, before I get hideously off topic, this is a battle against a man known as... what is it? Fucking VeilHD. That's the bastard. Now, basically, the main well, if I recall correctly, this battle was quite interesting. If I recall correctly. I could be entirely wrong, but I usually am, so... Anyway, we will wait for this thing to get into battle. One day Nintendo will make their connection work properly. And yes, I could cut this out, but I'm fat and lazy, so yeah. Go, laziness. So good. I also really need to replace my camera, because for some reason it's starting to look worse and worse with every battle I record. Don't know why. Maybe the stand's dying. I don't know how a plastic thing can die, but oh well. Yeah, I think this is the battle. I think. Right, basically, the point I wanted to make is that the reason I like Pokemon a lot is because, you know, if you liken it to, say, chess. Chess is basically you get a bunch of pieces that move around, have specific movements, but you, the player, control them. You make your own movements, you have your own lead-off strategies, you have your own shit that you do. Okay? Now, Pokemon, you know, you could liken Pokemon and chess to, say, Lego. It's an interesting way of doing it, but okay. Basically, chess, as far as Lego goes, is you've got all the pieces there. You can arrange them however you want, but they're there. You know, and they all have specific movements and things they can sort of come into contact with. Whereas Pokemon, you have infinite amounts of Lego. Infinites! Yes! And you can arrange them however the fuck you want, in whatever medium you want, and you can use them to beat whatever you want, theoretically. Now, this is probably well displayed here, if I remember correctly. So this rant could be completely off topic, or it could apply very well. Anyway, he's going to lead off with a Mammo. He doesn't want to take a Gyro Ball to the face, so he's going to switch out into a Rotom. Now, I'm going to switch out, I'm going to go into Vileplume. Normally, Rotom wrecks shit, but on this particular instance, he shows he has Hidden Power Fire. However, Vileplume is not phased, because it's Vileplume, and it's God. More people need to realise Vileplume's bloody good. But no one will, because, oh, it's NU. So he's going to go for another Hidden Power Fire. And he does a pretty hefty chunk, but I am just going to go Stun Spore, and now I can Giga Drain it. So you see, it's something from, you know, the bottom of the Lego pile is beating the living, well, ever-loving shit out of something from the top of the Lego pile that everyone seems to reach for. So, yes, you see my point here. So that's just one of the instances. And he has, in his team, quite a lot of Pokemon that, you know, it's sort of in the chess format. Just specific blocks that you can rearrange, and yeah, you can fuck around with them, but not really. Not as much as you'd like. Anyway, he's going to bring in a Reuniclus as I go for another Giga Drain, and Vileplume, while it's not looking particularly healthy, it isn't at least coughing up blood, so that's good. That's something. So, since Reuniclus is slow as hell, I Sleep Powder and put it to sleep. Because, yeah, if Sleep Powder did anything else, you'd be severely disappointed. However, he is going to get a first turn Wake, because I wanted to switch into Fortress and maybe try and set up a bit more spikes. Some spiky goodness, because, you know, that's what I love. And he's going to go for a Side Shock. And I'm not particularly worried. The only thing that really worries me is Focus Blast, because if he Calm Minds up a lot, Entei isn't going to tank one. However, I can also go into Slowking and Signal Beam him a bit, but yeah, well. So he's going to go into a Heat Trance. I set up my first layer of spikes. Now, one of the reasons I hated Fortress was because it was just Stealth Rock fodder, like Swampert sometimes. You just send it in, set up Stealth Rocks, and it dies. It's kind of fucking pointless. Whereas I do quite like the idea of it being a wall, but it's never really used as such. And in this instance, I quite like it as a wall. It does sort of what I want it to do, and it fits quite well into my ginormous 4-Pokemon Walling Gore Doom. Anyway, he's going to go into a Mew, and I'm going to go for a T-Wave, as he switched out of Heatran. And this is actually quite good, because as you saw on the Heatran, he went for a Magma Storm, which immediately means he's a toxic protecting set of bastard laziness. Ugh. So now he can't Toxic me, and Slowking is immediately an amazing counter to his Heatran. Something, again, quite far down the pile, is now countering something from quite far up the pile. I'm going to switch out, I'm going to go into Fortress, because I predicted a Shadow Ball or Dark Pulse. Well, not really Dark Pulse, but you get my point. And Fortress tanks the Dark Pulse quite well. So now I can set up another layer of spikes. And that's the kind of thing I liked about this team. Yes, it has Landorus and Starmie in it, and yes, it has Fortress, but I don't feel it was Fortress used in the same way. Starmie generally isn't Timid Scarfed, because it does lack power, and Landorus is usually Scarfed as opposed to Rock Polish. But Slowking, Vileplume, and Entei make quite a unique walling combo, in the sense that Entei, you know, can tank pretty much anything that is going to try and fuck over Slowking and Vileplume respectively. I know the Fire, Water, Grass core is like older than the Bible, but it's impressive how well it functions despite what you lumber it with. I mean, there are going to be things that don't work in a Fire, Water, Grass core, like, let's see now, a Cacnea. I don't think that would work very well in a Fire, Water, Grass core. But the point is that what I was trying to get at is that he has a lot of really high-end shit. And my pokes just kind of wall it effortlessly, you know? I don't really fuck around. I do shit at my own speed. He can't really touch me. And then that's what I like. I like teams that do things at their own pace. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense because the player controls it, but you know what I mean. Like with some teams you sort of have to sweep really quickly, or you got to do this. If a team can just do things whenever it feels like it, and it isn't forced into trying to have to do a specific play, you know, it's quite nice, and it's quite refreshing to see some of the low-tiered crap that can just do it regardless. Anyway, rant aside, Slowking isn't doing much to this Reuniclus. It isn't really hitting it at all. So I am going to go into Vileplume, because if he didn't Psy Shock, then I would Sleep Powder. However, he does Psy Shock, okay. Fair dues, no, it was bound to happen. Pokemon will die, especially when they have no recovery. Well, apart from Giga Drain, but I wouldn't really call that recovery. But now I can go into Landorus, and that's freed up a nice opportunity for me to go for a lovely stab Life Orb EQ, and that is going to take out the Reuniclus. So, you know, the team can pick up the slack. I mean, I've made better teams, I'm not going to lie, but I do quite like this team. The simplicity is nice, and the fact that everything can kind of vaguely cover each other is, you know, pretty good, all things considered. But now he's going to go into a Mamoswine, and of course the Ice Shard is the most obliviously obvious thing in the world. So I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to go to Fortress, because why not? I'm not rushed. I don't have to do anything really. I can just sit there, get up another layer of spikes, pile the pressure on slowly. You know, it is sort of in that sense like a game of chess. I mean, no chess player is going to try and get their queen out as quickly as possible just to try and knock each individual piece off the board, are they? No, they move around, they're meticulous, and that's kind of why Pokemon is nice like chess, except chess does require far more thought, believe me. But, you know, it's just the sort of build-up of pieces, say, you know, you build momentum, you start figuring out your plays, you know what you're doing, you know what walls this guy and what doesn't wall this guy. So that's kind of why I like it, you know. It's interesting, but as I said before, in Pokemon you can substitute any piece you want in for chess. Whereas in chess, you're stuck with the basics. But then again, that in some cases, as someone did point out, OU, it does function a lot like chess, but it also makes for sort of more tighter, stronger matches. So, I don't know. You can argue it either way, but that's why I prefer Pokemon. And that's kind of why I get annoyed at OU a bit. Because you have this giant pile of fucking Lego that no one seems to go near with a barge pole. They just take their little piece of Lego and fuck around with it. So either way, that's enough of those analogies. Let's stop that Lego analogy now, and the chess can go away. and I'll get back to actually narrating the battle, as opposed to trying to make a belabored point that I'm sure everyone got 5 minutes ago. Anyway, in comes a Mew. Of course, the Dark Pulse is obliviously obvious again. I am slightly worried he has Flamethrower and will predict that, but I don't really care at this point. I mean, Fortress is doing pretty cushy on its own, right? If he Flamethrowers, I go into Landorus and kill him, okay? So, in comes Fortress. He is going to go for a Dark Pulse again. And, now, this time, I get the opportunity to spin away his rocks. Once again, I'm not rushed. I just make, I play on my own time. I don't have to do this, and I don't have to have this happen or get any luck, whatever. It happens by itself. It just clicks. So there you go, I rapid spin away the rocks. He seems very content to keep going with Dark Pulse. I think he is trying to out-predict me, because I believe he probably does have Fire Blast. So I think that's what he's trying to, muck around with. Just trying to see if I'd go back into Slowking or not. But he really should have Flamethrower while he had the chance. But he is going to switch out now, and he's going to go into his Haxus. Now, obviously, as you saw from my last battle, Haxus is an enormous kick in the bollocks, because it's an evil dragon of doom. What do you think it's going to do? But now I'm here with Entei, and, well, Entei doesn't care. I don't know if this is Scarfed or Banded. I'm assuming Scarfed, but he's going to go Earthquake. And, well, look at that. Okay, I'm max HP, max defense, and all things considered it did quite a lot, but that's not too shabby. All things, it tanked a hit that it wasn't really supposed to tank, so I was quite happy with that. However, he does have Lumberry, so that is slightly worrying. But I can just go into Landorus, and, I can play around him. I can get him to go, Outrage, or he is actually going to switch out, and he's going to go into his Mamoswine. However, I, actually go EQ. Yeah, I go EQ. That was quite ballsy. I'm not entirely sure if if he was Lumberry, I'm pretty sure the Haxus probably would have outsped, unless it's bulky. But, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, it pays off. Down goes the Mamoswine, and Landorus is looking pretty cushy right now. Once again, I'm not forced to do these plays. I can just I could play at my own pace. It's quite nice. In comes a Rotom. I have the leisure to go Brick Break. Whatever. So yes, that's the point I was trying to get across. It's just quite nice to liken Pokemon to some of these things, because while Pokemon, the games itself are probably the most copy-pasted piece of shit in the world, really. Nintendo have absolutely no imagination, apart from maybe Black and White 2, but I've said that now, so it'll be shit. But from a Wi-Fi battling perspective, there are millions of things you can do with the fuckers. So it's just nice. I wish more people would try and experiment. But oh well, that's me. So now I'm going to go into Fortress, because I am scared that he is going to outspeed. However, he just went Outrage, and because he doesn't have a DD like last time, Fortress will tank that with Gusto, and then Gyro Ball and kill. Or get close, either way. I still have Starmie to Ice Beam, but no, a Gyro Ball will kill, so that is fantastic. So, Fori's doing good. And now, he doesn't really have much to deal with me. Yes, he can kill off my Fortress, fantastic. Good for him, but it's a Heatran, mate. All I have to do is go into Landorus, and that's done, so he doesn't have much left. But I am going to switch out, and I am going to go into Entei, because I can roar him out and kill him off, and that's good. He's going to go for Magneton. It does miss, which, oh well, whatever. He gets a bit of residual damage, bleh. The only thing I could really think he would do is Toxic. However, he does show he has the Earthquake, and it's like, well, Entei walls that for days, sir. Goodbye. So that's Heatran dead. In comes Mew, and that is going to die. Yes, it is. Good, good. Fan-dabby-dozy. And I believe his Heatran is just going to die coming back in. So that is good game, unless he has something else. No, that's it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed my random rant about Pokemon and chess and Lego. I don't know where I was going with that one. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.